Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Hey/X/. The purpose of this thread is to share with the board some of the creepy stuff that happened at work. Whether you're an office worker, truck driver, self-employed, or what have you. Greentext or not is fine. Gonna post some stories I've saved to keep this thread going. I used to work for a major metropolitan city's subway system. Would frequently be in the tunnels and abandoned stations surveying the structure. Usually I worked in small teams, but today only had one guy with me. Be it an abandoned station. Nothing too spooky about it, just old. Basically excess, as other nearby lines have been made, and they just passed through this spot. I was on the other side of the station with a coworker when I heard someone running in dress shoes. I shoot my attention to the area where the sound is. Guy in bowler and dressed real nice is at the old stairway to the platform. I say, "Hey, you can't be here." No answer. I say it again. "Hey man, you lost or something?" Guy looks at me. Looks like a video game character in facial structure. Almost thought up, not natural. Mouth is moving like he's saying something. I move closer, figuring I can't hear him. He bolts to the tracks and jumps in, running into the tunnel. My partner is like, "What just happened?" We look down the tunnel and see nothing. We called it in and they ended up shutting the tunnel down a bit to have guys look for this dude, thinking he might be out of it or something. They did find a bowler cap at the far end of the tunnel right before a split in the tracks. It was placed ever so carefully on some light signal.
Be a newish professional. I work in a small office in a smallish town. The office is in a house built in 1890 or around then. It was obviously once a residence. Always working late nights because I'm a noob. That's the only time I can get anything done. Old house sounds, occasionally spooky. There was a basement. Rickety wood board stairs that led down into a spacious, dank basement that is mostly filled with boxes and boxes of old paperwork. There's a hole cut into the concrete of the floor right in the middle. It goes down at least 3 feet, either into solid concrete or the hole is lined with concrete. The hole is about 18 inches in diameter, and the bottom is filled with murky water. There's a pipe that goes up into the ceiling, who knows where, and water sometimes drips into the hole from there. The hole is sometimes very full of water to the point of almost flooding, sometimes barely any water, but strangely there is never any mold around that I can see. I get weird feelings whenever I'm down there. The boxes are arrayed on shelves sort of like a library, and when I'm down there, I swear I hear or see out of the corner of my eye someone down there with me, just a feeling. Late at night, I sometimes hear creaky footsteps or something like it on the second floor where my office is. My desk faces out towards my door, which is always open, facing the top of the stairs which go down to the first floor, then to the basement. It's well past 9 p.m., and I've been working very hard on a particular issue all day and was exhausted. I doze off a little bit at my desk and kind of prop my head back. I wake up, my hands are on my chair's arms, not moving. I cannot move, starting to get a little panicked. I am staring straight ahead out the door of my office. I hear footsteps walking. A dark shape of a man walks straight by my office door, remarkably tall, with a very straight posture as he walked. The figure simply walks past the door, then down the stairs. The figure walks down the stairs, and I can hear more footsteps. Then the basement door opens, and I can hear more footsteps. At this point, I know this is probably sleep paralysis or something, but what the hell is this man doing walking down there? I keep catching glimpses of a smaller figure looking into my office, really low down, like a child's size. I can feel my sweat on my pleather chair, and I feel my heart beating in my chest. I am beyond scared. The basement door shuts. Sleep paralysis is over. I can move now. I get up right away and look down the second floor hallway. Nothing. Go downstairs. Hear nothing. Go to the basement. The door is shut. Okay, I guess it was my waking nightmare. Go back upstairs, feeling a little silly now, and the sweet rationalization is in overdrive, trying to make myself feel better. The lights go out. The power is out. It comes back on in a second. All the printers in the building are spooling up as they restarted, and I'm ready to get out of here. Grab my keys, go down the stairs, to the back door. The basement door is open. It's open like 2 inches. Was it like this before? Did I imagine going down there to check? Am I still dreaming? I'm out. Get to my car. Remember that I forgot to check to see if the front door was locked. Aha, not going back into that building. Run around to the front to lock. So other than some weird feelings, that is all I've experienced here. I asked my boss who owns the building what is up with the crazy pointless hole in the middle of the basement. He said not to worry about it. I asked someone else, and they told me that the building used to be a funeral parlor. The hole was used to drain bodily fluids of cadavers.
I used to be an overnight security supervisor for 3 years straight. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I miss it sometimes, but I'm a chef now. My stories aren't the scariest, probably, but I do have a few to share. Anyone who worked late, or overnights, knows the atmosphere is certainly quite different. I'll start with the least spoopy ones. Doing my rounds. Starting at 44th floor, walking from the north fire escape, through the offices, then down the south fire escape, rinse repeat. On the 27th floor. Spookiest office, wealthy law firm. Navy walls, gold crown molding, screams, we make money. Horrifying painting of this pissed off sea captain that fit no theme. Always unsettled me. Walking through the office, notice a light on at someone's desk. Only person allowed in the building are contractors, which I have a list of each night so I know where they are, none this night, plus one dude on the 5th floor that spends all night doing business with Japan. So, nobody should be here. Figure it's just a harmless light on. Say anyway, hello, security, anyone here? Nothing. Walk towards the desk, hidden by other cubicles. As I round the corner, light flicks off. I don't even consider anything paranormal, I think someone was caught. Flick on my flashlight and brandish my 8-pound security baton, about to smash some intruder. No footsteps besides mine, so they're not going anywhere. Round corner. Nobody's there. I turn the light on, and listen some more. As I turn the light off, I realize it's one of those twist-to-turn-off lamps. How did it turn off? Second one, probably least spoopy, but strange. At a desk in the lobby. The desk is permanent and attached to the floor. What a dumb idea. So there's no under the desk other than this 2 by 3 feet section for your feet. Huge marble lobby, no furniture or structures other than the security desk and wall decorations. Drop pen. It's my only one, so I'm looking everywhere for it. It's gone, I looked forever too. Still makes no sense. So here's the 2 that really stick in my memory, and that I'll never forget. Months after the first incident, and I'm no longer afraid of the 27th floor anymore, since nothing's been going on. At this point I convinced myself it was just a lamp and got over it. Turns out the general manager of that company is super cool, lets me know randomly one day that I'm welcome in their staff kitchen and to help myself to coffee or snacks anytime. Sweet perk, I thank him. Doing rounds, I help myself to some coffee and nice creamer. Decide to go to the bathroom after. Bathroom has an amazing waiting room, like a room before the bathroom with a couch, mirror and desk. Decide to spend one of my 15-minute clocked-in breaks while I'm here. Now I fully understand what sleep paralysis is. Please don't write me off. I sit on the couch, wide awake, as this has been my routine for 2 years at this point. Well rested and had just had a coffee. Sit down, get comfy, and start to respond to some text messages. As I'm typing, my hands go numb and I drop my phone. I try to pick it up, but I fall into the couch more, total loss of function. Hear terrible screams increasing in volume. I start to see many humanoid shapes come at me slowly. Suddenly a giant angry female face starts screaming at me, more visible than all the others which seem meters away. I fall to the floor in my attempt to flee. I can still hear the screams as I crawl. It's all I could muster towards my baton and flashlight. I push the door open, still on my hands and knees. I get up and weakly walk while tripping, almost like a drunk forwards the elevator. Take the fancy elevator down a floor because I can't go down the fire escape with my weak legs. Vow to never hang out there ever again. This next one takes place maybe 2 or 3 months after my last experience on the 27th floor. I, again, write it off as some messed up sleep paralysis, as that's what I read on the internet when I first encountered this situation. But I was sitting. but I was actively doing shit. I wasn't resting for a sec. I end up convincing myself that maybe I was tired, maybe it wasn't paranormal. Broke and hungry while doing my rounds, I stopped by Old 27 again. I have a protein bar in a drawer labeled snacks. Make myself a coffee. Decide to go to the bathroom, just to show myself once and for all that nothing's up. I walk in and feel intense dread. I literally feel like someone is in the room with me, watching me. I ran out. I'm surprised that I'm sweating and shaking and get pissed at myself, because I'm convinced that, again, it's not paranormal and I'm just a coward. This was like 8 years ago. I was 18 and thought I was tough or some garbage. Walk back in, decide to sit down, again, and prove myself wrong? Don't remember my bad logic. Sitting, not lying down. The moment I sit, things get dark and I hear faint laughter, the start of the same thing, again. I get up before it can start fully, stumble as things go black for a moment, and just like last time, walk quickly to the elevators. My dumb ass was at least smart enough to never linger on that floor ever again. I just walked through on my rounds, grabbed a snack, and left. Interestingly enough, I even napped on the 4th floor once without incident, and even laid down on a couch on the 18th floor. Never again have I had this type of experience, and I'm convinced that particular floor of that particular building is completely screwed and haunted.
Me, early 20s, working the night desk at a Ramada. I got the job because my roommate also worked there. He tells me the best part of the job is the kitchen, late night snacks, etc. The worst part of the job is the security walkthrough. Of course, it has to be done between 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The hotel itself is not very old, but has seen quite a few pimp, crackhead, and alcoholic bum deaths. List of banned pimps' names under the register. 24 on call, Chicago, low-level mob gangster cokehead contractor, always getting drunk and painting shit that doesn't need to be painted. Anyways, first half of the walkthrough is the hotel. Second half is the conjoined convention center and its hell dungeon of a basement. After a few days, get the hang of the job and take my turn on the walkthrough, armed with trusty maglite and stoner kung fu, clear the basement like a Doom speedrun. paulblart.png. Now for the easy part, save the actual hotel part for last because it was less spooky. Turns out it wasn't. Part of the hotel section sweep is placing checkout receipts under doors. Spot an odd entry on floor 12, Loot Mall Fab. Sounds like a real man, probably another shitty pimp. Look for check-in time, 1:30 a.m. The computer says I checked him in. I don't remember checking anyone in that hour. Definitely didn't check in anyone named Loot. Receipt printed without a checkout time or date. Also a bit odd, computer programs require checkout info. Start working my way up the floors. Everything hunky-dory, picking up room service trays, etc. Get to floor 12 to check on my boy Loot. Slide the receipt under the door, stand off to the side and listen at the door. Don't hear anything. Nobody there? Is the guy sleeping? Then a low sound, faint but not completely obscured. Someone talking, at least there's somebody there to pay for the room. Talking continues. Another noise. Close my eyes and lean closer to the door. Hard to describe gears, a pair of scissors, eyes closed, low mechanical sounds and obscure speech. I wanted to hear more, get a nice objective definition of the situation, then nothing. I open my eyes to total blackness. Blink hard, give off a quick tarred shout, open eyes again. I'm at the opposite end of the hallway, by the elevator, still holding the receipt I had just placed under the door. Screw that guy. I'm going back to the front desk and forgetting this ever happened. Step in the elevator and press G heart rate and elevator calmly descending. Door open, still on the 12th floor. Bolt to the fire escape in the end of the hallway. The door is locked, back against the wall. Maglite at the ready. Not sure why, but walking down the hall towards that room. Slide receipt under the door again. Hear footsteps approaching the door. Frozen in place. I can't breathe. A young man in a bathrobe slowly opens the door, holding a black suitcase. Says hello there. The room behind him is filled with camera equipment, booms, mics, etc. I feel myself take a step towards him as my eyes unfocus. Slow, small steps. I hear a voice on my hip. It's my roommate over the radio. Says something about how he's back from gassing up the shuttle van. Eyes refocus. The door is closed. I'm still holding the receipt, full-out sprint to the elevator, ripping the receipt to pieces. Press every button. Get off on the 11th floor. Bolt over to the fire escape and run the whole way down to the lobby. My roommate sees me obviously disturbed. Tell him what happened. We checked the computer. No record of anyone on the 12th floor this entire weekend. Quit shortly afterwards.
For some background, I work in a petrol station located on the highway. Mostly night shifts from 3 p.m. to midnight. So I'm used to the weird, the creepy, and the downright paranormal. With this normal shift, people coming and going. It's about 7, things are dark and the store is slowing down a bit. Behind the console area, look to my left and lock eyes with a woman. Frail, thin, elderly, with wrinkled skin and giant fly-eyed sunglasses on that cover half her face. Immediately get the jitters from her. She walked slowly to the door. I had to manually make it open to let her in as the auto doors didn't pick her up. Makes her way to the console. Stares at me, can't tell, still wearing those creepy sunnies.
Can you come outside and take a look at my car? I think something's wrong.
The voice is soft in volume but deep and resonating, like I felt it more than I heard it. Decline, explain policy with leaving as only staff on site.
Okay then.
She walks off to the toilet. Now here is where alarm bells start going off. Serving other customers, stragglers here and there. She comes out of the bathroom after 5 minutes. Walks over to me again.
There's no toilet paper. Could you come get me some?
Alarm bells. Something in my head says not to go out there. Get some staff toilet paper from behind the console. Here you go, ma'am. Her demeanor is sour, or as far as I can tell with those sunnies.
Okay.
She walks back into the toilet. About another 5 minutes she walks back out and wanders around the shop. I watch her and notice she flicks her head in my direction every now and then, like scanning me. She walks to coffee machine, then calls out to me. Her voice is louder this time, but it feels more like a knife this time, shrill and freezing.
There's no milk in here. Can you replace it? I'd like a coffee.
I know I should do it, but every something is up alarm and my body and brain was screaming not to. Decline and say I can't leave the console at this hour of the night. She gets visibly annoyed, saying how shitty my customer service is. She threatens to contact my manager if I don't come out and change the milk. Decline and apologize, even off the manager's number. She tries 3 more times to get me out over the next 20 minutes. Finally gives up and walks off, glaring at me through the windows as she rounds the shop out of sight. The rest of the shift goes by without a hitch. No creepy things, surprisingly mellow and normal shift. I still have a sense of dread in my stomach. Swap over and leave at 12:30 a.m., walking to my car about 50 meters in the parking lot. As I got closer, the glasses, scarf, and gloves she was wearing around folded neatly, the glasses resting on top, and a pile on the ground by my driver's side door. Look around, a sense of dread intensifying. Quick as a flash, I unlock my car, jump in and lock it again. No time to relax, start the car, and gun it out of there. Never been so fearful in my life. That sense of dread never left. I got home and needed a few drinks before I could loosen up enough to even consider sleep.
I work at a Pizza Hut in the middle of nowhere. No dine-in or delivery. Carry out only. We usually average 60 to 80 customers a day. Business has been shit since the former GM passed away in the store 2 years ago sitting at the computer. I heard heart attacks from multiple people who work for the company around other stores. Shit's constantly happening in the store. So much that me and the other few people who have been around long enough just laugh it off and joke about it being Susan's ghost, since Susan was her name. The last major thing to happen was the mop sink. The hose we filled the bucket up with magically started and kept spraying onto the floor. The mop sink is in the back around the corner, so nobody knew until we looked back and saw the soapy water flowing toward the front. It's always a little stupid shit. The lights above the oven flickering and coming off / on when they want. The second main entrance door is constantly locking throughout the day. It's annoying more than anything. Freaks the new people out all the time. I'm waiting for something serious to happen one day. Been over a year since I've been there now.
I work for a cell phone company. It will remain nameless but rhymes with horizon. Often have to go out and check some towers if we have problems and regular maintenance. One of the towers is in the middle of a forest, as in creepy spooky forest. There is a gate with barbed wire around this. You have to enter a code to unlock the gate. We have had problems with people stealing cable and other wiring. Tower stops responding late at night. I have to go out there to check on it. I arrived. The gate is wide open. The small building door is wide open as well. Screw this. I am calling the police. I hear a voice, "Help me, please help me," coming from inside. The hair on my neck starts to stand up and I am getting goosebumps everywhere. It sounded like a voice that was almost like a computer-generated type of voice. There was nothing natural about it. I yelled, "The police are coming. Are you hurt?" Voice says, help me, please." I am in the company van and call dispatch and tell them what is going on. My co-worker says, "Get the hell out of there now." I start the van and drive off and look in my mirror. I see something crawl out of the building and stand up. It must have been about 8 feet tall and growing. I heard this laughter. My hands were shaking so hard. I drove down and went into a Walmart shopping center and told dispatch what I saw. I then called the police again and told them where I was. Talked with the police officers and told them what I saw. I then said about the voice saying help me and how strange it was. The police looked at me and nodded their heads. They then called up someone else to bring a group to the building. When we got there, the gate was still open and the door was open. The police went in and cleared the small building. They came out and showed me claw marks on the wall and the inside was completely destroyed. My supervisor saw this and told me, I am transferring back to Chicago.
I used to work in a psych hospital. The original building was a 10 out of 10 too spooky Kirkbride-style building which was torn down, and the building I worked at was on its grounds. Be in the admissions area. Doing paperwork with one other person in the room. Standing and feeling a finger run up my leg and up my back. Turn around to see a coworker sitting in a rolling chair too far away to get to me or make any noise. Don't say anything because I don't want to freak her out or sound crazy. One day reporting early for work. Walk past the same admissions area and glance my head in to see if anyone is working. All the lights are off and there is an exit sign above the door giving the room a red glow. See a person sitting behind the desk, but they just have black holes for eyes and mouth as I glance in. Pause and look back in the room and no one is there. My job gave me access to the entire grounds, and I would routinely get feelings of dread walking in certain parts of the building. Some of the maintenance guys showed me old tunnels which belonged to the original building. They said sometimes you would hear growling coming from them or rattling chains and footsteps late at night from the basement area. In that building was also what's known as a Utica crib, Google it, from the original building which had claw marks all over it. They also had some coffins which were used to bury unclaimed patients on the grounds. I had to routinely visit the cemeteries on the grounds, but never experienced anything odd. Most of the stones were just numbers followed by an M or F for gender. A few of the stones just said specimens, but many of them were stolen or destroyed by vandals.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Remember to check out the Odyssey page in the description for a second archive of the channel's videos.